Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are around the world. Hi, my name's David, and I'm David Soul Gardener. And I wanted to come online to do another video blog installment of a book that I've just recently read, and really quite how powerful it was to read. And it's this book. It was absolutely fantastic. And it's by a lovely lady called Anna Delvis. She's English and she lives down on the south coast. Hi, Emily. All right. Hi, guys. Hi, Rob. Hi, guys. Hi, Katie. Loads of you. Hi, Bill. So she lives down on the south coast, and I wanted to talk a bit about this book because it's really quite powerful. And it's her personal journey revealing how the knowledge of our past lives can heal us today, and divulging some of the hidden depths that lie between us all. And it's quite an interesting concept, past lives. It's quite an interesting idea how we meet people, not for the first time, but again, how you had that deja vu feeling, or that click, or oh, I'm sure I know you from somewhere before, is something that actually we take for granted as a part of normal day life. And it was quite an interesting concept that was given to me recently, was about how families rotate through time. So essentially, my family unit have lived together, all together in some shape or form in a past life, and that these groups of people come back round again in order to realign, rebalance, to sort karma, past life. Karma is known in Buddhism. It's even a throwaway comment now, all actual karma. And I love the way that this book really delves into that on her personal healing journey. And for me, I find it quite interesting because I look at the complex kind of character I am, and I look at some of the difficulties I can have with interacting one-on-one with people, how I find it challenging to be around certain types of men, certain types of women, and then how my anxiety plays up. And, if we were doing this very 21st century, we'd be like, oh, something's triggered me, I'm having an inverse reaction. It's my mind, and I might go see a psychologist or a counsellor to talk about this. If we were looking at it through the 12 steps, I'd be like, what's my part? Where have I become selfish, self-centered, dishonest, or afraid? And all of these things are really great methods to evaluate. It's like the 12 steps, the 12 commandments. Great ways to evaluate where we are. I'm really good, Helen. Good to see you, love. Great ways to see how we sort of work with one another. And what I've found so far with meditation and journeying and other practices that I use is that you grow your perception. So if we take the 21st century and then we look across to another way of looking at it, so like a spiritual angle, and you take that old traditional way of meditation that's been around for a long time, about centering ourselves and connecting to our own wisdom, our own knowledge. You then gain pictures, or I have gained pictures of my experiences with people, why I get on with them so well. And it's helped me to see patterns of types of people I find particularly challenging. That's all really cool. But then taking the idea that I mentioned before about my family's been here in karma. So if I just slide that to the side here, family, karma, we relive to rebalance, to learn lessons that we haven't learned before in order to become a whole-rounded person. That's essentially what I believe is why we're here, what our soul is here for. So a family unit helps us to do that. But if we take into those people that we meet along the road, those people that trigger us into having a response, sometimes we go, why? I've never met this person, but why have I kicked off? What's made me so angry with them? And it's like, oh, I don't know, it must be me. It must be, I'm such a terrible person. Oh, my head can get carried away and be like, I must have done it all wrong. But the really interesting story and the way that this lady explains it in this book is it's about our karma, because the reason why I've had an inverse reaction when I've met that person is because I have met them before. And I was like, right, okay. So how about, why do I get on really well with that young child or that lady? It's because, again, I've met them before. And so what you're doing is you're re-establishing a connection that's already, your soul already knows. Again, I thought this is really quite cool, and from some of the meditations I've done, I've seen how when I look back behind people, or even behind to the different energies or the different people that I work with, or the different people that I'm helping connect with. So if I'm working one-on-one with somebody, I can travel behind them and connect with some of the guides that they work with. So essentially, I'm not just one person. There are more than one of me. There have been more than one of me, all those multiple lives going back through time. And what I find quite unique with this is each person has like a unique energy, like how each fingerprint is unique. People's energy has like a fragrance or an aura or like a substance to it which is unique to them, which creates who they are. So when my soul goes, I know you, it's because I do know you, because my soul has that wisdom that it's met you before. But why do I not remember? Because I remember instinctively I do, but why don't I remember? And this is where it gets complicated. This is where the mind is quite unique. It's where that we can work to open it up in order to become clairaudient, clairsentient, become a medium, become an intuitive healer, whatever it is that you want to become very good at art, very good at music. These are ways that we open up our mind. So that's a bit more information. And a shamanic teacher said to me that whenever you learn something like that, it's because your soul's already learned it before. So actually you're not learning it for the first time. So there's people that are really good at French and then really good at German and then really good at Spanish. It's probably because they've learned it before in a relatively recent life, or it's a part of their guide's knowledge and you're picking it up like second nature, because second nature, previous life. See, it's all woven in there a little bit in our common day-to-day language. And this lady goes on to sort of explain that how in her life of this incarnation, it was about writing all karma, all her past karma. Now, it took her back to her aversion against Christianity, and it unravels the reason why there's such a strong aversion to it. It took it back to why she had problems with her husband. It took it back to why she got on really well with a particular son. It took it back to why she got on really well with a particular daughter, I think it was, with her daughter, or why she had problems with the daughter. Because all these crunchy, grindy bits are the bits that we're ironing out in this life. And she found that as she worked to heal the karma, the attachments, the bonds between, say, me and my dad, me and my mum, as I work to develop and heal those relationships. I'm untwisting the coil. I'm untwisting the wires to allow a clear flow of energy, of like that heart-to-heart soul connection of love. And as this lady did this with other relationships, not just in the family, over years and years and years. Like, there were people that she lived with around the corner, there were people that came into her life to do it and help on a project. And this is all directed by a power, being, or essence greater than herself. So, you know, I quite often get annoyed or frustrated that I don't know where I'm going, or I'm not sure where I should be going, and I can get ratty with myself. Excuse me. And I think we all feel like that. And I think what was quite a powerful thing about this book was she was showing that the great depth of pain and suffering that she went through in her life. Not just having a spiritual awakening, but going through illness and other difficulties with these relationships. And it's through the chaos, it's through the grinding of a mincer, going back through the grindstone and reawakening, rebirthing, composting the new gems out of those new experiences with those people, that it rebinds and heals. And not only do her afflictions, her difficulties start to reduce, but the corresponding impact to her son's difficulties started to unravel. So last night when I talked with a lovely lady called Sherry, who did a little reading for me, and I was asking, you know, I'm starting sending Reiki back using long distance Reiki symbols, using the intent of my mind, and going, right, I will send Reiki now to these difficulties that I'm having, these deep wounds that I still have, that I work to manage and clear, heal, and help others with. I send this energy back. And she said, but the thing is with karma and with these wounds is, they're not back in time, they are with you now. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Because obviously the impacts of those past lives of my soul is holding that wisdom. They are manifesting, they are being expressed, they are a part of my life so far. They are active, you could say. So it's like, so the healing needs to be now. But not just now for you. The healing has to be now and for the other person. So what the other bond ties me to that person, that sort of psychic loop that goes ting, ting, that needs to be severed. But not does it only need to be severed for you and healed, but it needs to be severed and healed for the other person. So therefore bringing a balance, and hopefully then to be grounded, so as then to sit together. Now that's not what she said then, but that's what's just come from now. Because ultimately, all humans, sentient beings, are on one level. A lot of the systems in which that we live in is a hierarchical level. I must be empowered to do so. I must go to church in order to be good. I must shop and buy from here in order to be accepted. Consumerism. But actually, if we come to the idea that in God's eyes, in Buddha's eyes, in spiritual eyes, that all one is balance, that there needs to be a harmony. Even with what we do as human beings in our lives, we hope, we seek, I hope, seek to find that true harmony and balance. So, balance is always a good or a bad or a positive and negative, a yin and yang, a white or black, whichever one you want to go for. I always like the idea of being fluid, because water always finds its equanimity, is it? Its balance point. But that's probably a step forward. But if I go back one step, recently I got left a review on my private Facebook page of a person who'd never experienced one of my treatments, has never come and worked with me, never been in my flat or worked with me. And I took that pain, it was like, and it hurt. It hurt a lot. It knocked my confidence. It set me back a little bit. Or I would say it set me back, because that's the judgment. But actually, it hasn't set me back. So that's quite important to differentiate there. The negative I put on that and judge it is it was bad. But it wasn't. Because I'm working on the idea of finding harmony, my equilibrium. I need to be able to have a negative experience in order to value the positive ones. So actually what this woman did was, for the whole night, I reviewed everything. Spirit and God and I, we reviewed everything. We walked through everything that I've experienced. We looked at every bit of the business that I've looked at. And I went, no, it's fine. And I was like, boom, I know where I am. And what that's done is actually helped me to balance. And it's brilliant. Because now I value it differently. Now I value the positive experiences that I'm having through the work that I do. But I still struggle with my mind and some of the negative things. And that's a part of living a day at a time, working the other aspects of my program in order to shift that negativity. So we come back, and it's, for all I know, that situation when I was going through it, I started praying for myself for healing, and I'm praying for healing for that other person in order to calm and cleanse and clear the wound on both sides. Because when somebody is angry with you, they're feeling pain. And I can afford and offer them love and compassion. Because actually I would never want to be in pain myself, nor would I wish another person pain. And if I have caused harm, and they perceive what I've done as harm, then I apologize for that and offer love back. And for all I know, that was a karmic thing from another life. And just to come back to the 20th century thing and go, why do I go through all of that explanations and lots of different information? Why don't I just go, it's done? Or I don't need to worry about that. It's not my bag. It's not my... Why? Because what it helps me do is it goes up a level, if not up 3 levels. And it goes, hang on a minute. So if this isn't just a, I don't like you because of whatever, and it's actually because there is a link block between the two of us, and we need to somehow work that out and realign it, it suddenly gets me away from it being all about me. It suddenly takes it up to a level and go, there's something bigger going on here. So it's bigger, it's important, it has a greater impact. What's the greater lesson? I suppose what I'm trying to say is by going up that level, it takes a different sense of responsibility, a different sense of love. It comes away from being, oh, I'm so hurt, to, there's been pain here before, this needs healing. Compassion, love. Because what I've suddenly done is I've circumvented the old route, the psychological approach or analytical approach or just the heart approach, and I've gone all the way around and gone, we need to be somewhere else on this. You know, it's like when you're in a business meeting and you're like, loggerheads going, and somebody goes, hang on a minute, let's just look at this from another angle. What this book helped me to see was, when I start looking at things from a different angle, I start to see a hugely different picture, and that there is more going on. Now, people could go, oh, this is all a bit random, a bit hocus pocus, be quite cynical about it. And I'd be like, yeah, fair enough, that's your opinion. I am at times. I see things and experience things, and I'm a bit like, can't believe that. I am still human. We're all still human. But yeah, it pushes the boundaries of the accepted norm. But anyway, but as she's developed in her healing, as these experiences happen, I've developed in my healing as my experiences have happened. My spiritual awakening happened because of a result of terrible illness, not just one, two. And what underpins this for me is, as I'm reading this and I'm connecting to the raw emotion and to the love of this woman and the shifting turmoil of the healing journey, I'm remembering things of my own pain. And I'm thinking, that's maybe how that works within my family, or that's maybe how that works within my relationship with that lady. That's how that works with my friend. And I'm connected with the story and her book starting and helping to heal me and change my perception. And what comes forward are the different experiences when I worked healing with other people or doing energy work with them. And I go, gosh, yes, that can be true, because when I was working with this person, I saw them having this experience, a very powerful one. And I could understand it was about taking off the noose and taking it off my head, or, and it can be about that. It can be trauma from a past life that's still echoing forward into this life, waiting to be resolved. And that's why we have these character aspects that can cause us conflict or to experience situations in not a pure love way, but in a way. Because it's overwhelming, because we are having not one or two experiences, but a ripple of experiences that are impacting on that moment. And that, to me, helps take the responsibility down a notch, to the sense of, it's not just me now, it's a problem I've had before. So when I'm experiencing something so intensely, I can go, whoa, hold the boat here. Why am I so angry? Because actually, I don't need to be. And then I go, is something coming through me? It's either a spirit, or it's an energy, or it's accumulation of energy that's flowing through me. And it's not all about that person in front of me and what's going on. So it's not about the office guy or the boss having a go at me that's caused this kaboom and why I want to kick off so badly. And it's not about my dad. And it's not about because somebody's left me and no longer here. It's because it's a wound further back. And it's like, wow, that makes a bit more sense why it's sometimes a bit over the top. And what I found really, really beautiful about, again, in this book is, after that she'd healed the cluster of souls that were from this specific event in her past life, and she went on some amazing spiritual journeys, she then got told that she'd reset her karma, that she was completely clear, and that she then would go on to grow and become a master healer. And I was just like, whoa. And one of the most pinnacle turning points of the journey was the very last one, when she became incredibly ill and nearly died. And it was only through that experience did it reset, did it completely flip clean. So when I'm getting worked up and wound up and fed up that I'm disabled, or annoyed that shelf's too high, not able to get the coffee, getting annoyed because my wheelchair's breaking and stalling and I can't get around, frustrated with family members, whatever's going on, it helps me to remember this stuff. It helps me to remember that actually I'm writing my karma, I'm having a new experience in this life. It's growing my soul, it's growing who I am, it's giving me depth and character, strength and vitality and courage, which might be unknown to me in a former life. because I'm ultimately being placed in this situation in order to realign, rebalance something, to give me the next line across the experiences, to become a whole soul. Because essentially, I believe that all of us, similar to in Buddhism, that ascended masters are those people who have reached pure enlightenment. Because don't forget that when we look at things in the Church of England or deities, they were you and me. They were human. Mary was human. Jesus was human. All of these people were you and I, were spiritually awoken people wanting to heal, support, love, bring kindness to other people, that empathy, that cup of spiritual offering to people and go, come and drink from my cup, come and experience this experience, come be a part of a new awakening, come see life from a new experience. Because is that not what Jesus talks about? Is that not what he did? My journey with Christianity has been one of renewal, of new awakenings, of new acceptance. I was very high church Anglican and learned it in a very different way. And now looking at it from an objective point of view, looking through the curtain, looking through the man layers to the God aspect of the that's French word, what is it? The entendre, the hidden meaning, the words behind the words. You know, it's not one of those times where you just read the black and the black, you read the white and see where it's come from. And what I find beautifully amazing is that when you go back and back and back, you see connections to paganism, you see connections to all different religions woven through it. Even the creation of the church came around at a very traumatic time. I mean, a lot of, like the Knights Templars, like the Roman Catholic Church, all of these things came around at great turmoil. It's in that evolution that births the new creation, because it's what's needed to head onwards. So is that why when we come back to a day-to-day thing, it's really important to do the normal life stuff, the normal human stuff. But I always like to keep a weathered eye or a slight feeling of, I'm here and I'm going to be learning something. I'm meeting this person, I'm going to be learning something. Let's help me learn, let's help that person. Let's have a balanced experience of love and peace. And let's see how we can help one another. Because is that not what happens when you sit and have a cup of tea with your grandma and a Becky? I mean, I'm really close with my grandmother. And, you know, I believe that if she was to go over, that love does not pass on beyond the veil of which I cannot connect to. I believe that she will be sat in or stood in the room with me as I energetically feel her before she phones me. I'm like, my grandma's going to phone, and the phone rings. She's like, I was just thinking about you. And I was like, I was just thinking about you, so I phoned you. Energetically, she'll be there. Energetically, our loved ones are there. Their souls are there. Our souls have known each other. I mean, they keep showing me the same, you know, like souls are like bunches of grapes, units of people, strands together. And what I find quite beautiful about that is that they're all connected. You know, all connected, lots of them, all strands, all people, all souls, all connected, going into the one consciousness. You see similar things in some of the Buddhist pictures, how it wafts up. And we are all connected. We're not singular people. I'm not David here. I'm all the people that have connected to the video. We are connected. All souls are. Even the planets how they work from one planet to another. I was shown in a meditation how they are like big bunches of pearls, all like grouped together, bunches of grapes all bunched together into different galaxies. And it's also quite a strange thing, a geeky thing, is when you watch those sci-fi things, you see that similar shapes. You see similar shapes through. I'm just think of sci-fi at the minute, but like the honeycomb, the bees, helix shape. Is it helix? Sorry, I'm getting words muddled. But it is a helix shape. But you see these shapes, so they're not anomalies. It's a bit like if you hear it say more than 3 times, and you can then say it yourself. There's a reason why all of these breadcrumbs are sprinkled throughout of the world and throughout of all of the different religions, is because more than one person has seen it. So if more than one person has seen an angel, does that not mean that there are angels? Well, I don't know. You know there are. If more than one person's seen a spirit, does that not mean UFOs? Same sort of thing. It's just looking through the different layer, because it is just the difference of that. So yeah, I suppose what I was really amazed was by the dedication this woman had, the great amount of warmth and strength, and her persistency, because anybody working to any goal, whether it's work in the family, achieving a sports goal, achieving enlightenment, just working to do your meditation practice, saving up to buy the car, whatever it is, it takes dedication, it takes consistency, it takes will, that God's will, that soul's desire to heal, to evolve, to help others heal. So I'd really recommend this book if you are looking at healing, if you're looking at karma, if you are looking at a book to be inspirational, to give you that confidence to keep plugging at it. Because it can be lonely, it can be tiring. And it's the beauty of people who write these books that give me inspiration, that give me hope when I'm struggling to keep walking forward. Because sometimes we sit down on the pavement, it's the last place we need to be, because it's easy just to topple over and fall back down in that black hole and get lost in things. So great to share with you again, guys. I'm not quite sure what book I'm reading next. Oh, everything's run away. It's I think the one, A Boy Who Returns from Heaven. So when I finish that one, I'll let you know, and I'll probably do another one. So guys, please, if you'd like to talk about this book or come and see me, maybe come and have a consultation and have a chat about where you are, where you're at, just come for a cup of tea and a chat. That's kind of how I work, and then develop your session on from there. I do work with Reiki. I do work with other energy types. I do work with cards and spiritual intuition. Never feel that just because you have maybe thought to just try on one thing that we're not able to combine them. Really, it's about meeting one another. It's about then letting your soul talk and describe how it needs help. And that happens by many different ways. And that's the whole idea of Soul Gardener, is allowing your soul to come and talk to somebody who's going to listen to your soul and go, yes, I'll try and help you. So if you're wondering what Soul Gardener is, it's a person called David that's created his soul garden where he lives and is willing to listen to your soul and try and help you find your healing. So that's it. That's me, David Soul Gardener, for this little video blog. So take care. God bless. Safe 24. Namaste.